My child, do not skip this message. This is not an accident. You were led here, chosen in this moment. Someone called your house. They asked if you were home alone. Your heart felt it. That sudden chill. That pause in your breath. That question that lingered in the air. Why now? Why me? Listen carefully. Heaven is watching, and heaven is speaking to you now. I am Archangel Michael, protector of the broken, defender of the chosen, warrior of light in the unseen places. And I am standing at the door of your life in this very moment. You felt uneasy for a reason. You were alerted for a reason. Nothing about your life is random anymore. Not the call, not the fear, not this message, and not you. You are not forgotten. You are not unprotected. You are not alone. With your $50 super thanks contribution, you're helping to share God's love and message with more people. Your support makes a big impact. And together, we can spread blessings far and wide. May God's grace return to you abundantly. The angels are speaking your name in places you cannot see. Your name is being whispered in heaven right now. With your $50 super thanks contribution, you're helping to share God's love and message with more people. Your support makes a big impact. And together, we can spread blessings far and wide. May God's grace return to you abundantly, because something big is being prepared for you. But first, you must understand what just happened. That phone call was not just a phone call. It was a signal, a spiritual knock on the door of your destiny, a test of your awareness, a warning wrapped in a question. Are you home alone? Those words were not only spoken in the physical, they echoed in the spiritual, and heaven heard them. You may think it was coincidence. You may think it was a prank. You may try to brush it away, but your spirit knows better. Your spirit felt a tremor. Your spirit felt a shift. Because the enemy only knocks when something valuable is inside the house. And you, beloved, are valuable beyond measure. You have been marked for breakthrough. And whenever heaven marks you for promotion, darkness tries to intimidate you before it happens. This is why you have felt watched lately. This is why your sleep has been restless. This is why your heart has been heavy without a clear reason. You have been carrying wounds you never spoke about. You learned how to smile while bleeding inside. You learned how to survive without feeling safe. You learned how to stay quiet when your soul wanted to scream. Heaven saw every tear you wiped away in secret. Heaven recorded every night you asked, "How much longer?" You thought no one noticed. You thought your prayers were lost in the ceiling. But they pierced the clouds. They reached the throne. And now the answer is moving toward you. Slowly at first, then suddenly. That phone call was not meant to frighten you. It was meant to wake you. Type amen to claim it. It was meant to pull your spirit out of sleep. It was meant to remind you that you are surrounded. You are surrounded by more than walls. You are surrounded by angels. You are surrounded by protection you cannot measure. You are surrounded by light you cannot yet see. The enemy wanted to plant fear. Heaven planted awareness instead. The enemy wanted to make you feel unsafe. Heaven made you alert. The enemy wanted you to shrink. Heaven is about to make you rise. You wondered why the feeling stayed with you all day. You wondered why it would not leave your chest. It stayed because the moment is sacred. It stayed because your season is shifting. Something old is ending. Something new is breaking through. You have been standing in the hallway between two lives. The life you barely survived, and the life you are about to step into. Heaven is watching how you respond in the hallway. Heaven is listening to what you choose to believe. Fear is loud in hallways, but faith echoes longer. You are not weak for feeling shaken. You are human for feeling the weight. But you are chosen because you stayed. You did not run. You did not ignore the warning. You did not mock the moment. You paused. You listened. You sought understanding. And now understanding is coming to you. Not as panic, but as peace. The call was a shadow passing your door. The angels were the wall it collided with. You were never alone in that moment. You were never unguarded. Even if no one was in the room with you, heaven filled the house. You may not have seen wings, but they stood there. You may not have heard a voice, but orders were given. You may not have felt a touch, but the enemy felt resistance. Your fear rose for a second, but it was swallowed by protection. This is how heaven works. Quiet, firm, final. You were not spared by luck. You were covered by assignment. There is something on your life that darkness recognizes. There is something on your life that hell fears. That is why the question was asked. That is why your spirit reacted before your mind did. Your spirit recognized the season. Your spirit recognized the shift. You are entering days where your discernment will sharpen. You will feel things before they happen. You will sense danger before it arrives. You will sense blessing before it appears. You thought your sensitivity was a weakness. It is becoming your shield. You thought your anxiety meant you were broken. It means you are becoming aware. You are learning how to see in the dark. You are learning how to hear between the sounds. The angels are teaching you without words. The Spirit is training you without noise. You are being prepared for something big. Not just sudden, but lasting. Not just emotional, but eternal. There's a door ahead of you that only opens when fear no longer controls you. And you are almost there now. Your heart has been heavy, but it has not been crushed. Your mind has been tired, but it has not been conquered. Your faith has been tested, but it has not been destroyed. You are still standing, and heaven notices who stands. Some gave up yesterday. Some will give up tomorrow. But you are standing today. And today is where miracles begin. The enemy wanted you to think danger was at your door. Heaven wants you to know destiny is at your door. The unanswered questions are not signs of abandonment. They are signs of unfolding. You do not see the full picture yet, because the full picture would overwhelm you. So heaven gives you pieces, one moment at a time. The call was one piece. This message is another. Your breakthrough is approaching silently, but it will arrive loudly. You will not miss it. You will not doubt it. When it comes, you will know, because the same God who warned you privately will bless you publicly. And when that day comes, you will look back at this moment with trembling gratitude. You will say, "Now I understand." You will say, "Now I see." The night that scared me was the night heaven stood closer than ever. The question that unnerved me was the question that revealed how protected I really was. You are not the target. You are the testimony. You are not the victim. You are the witness. You are not surrounded by danger. You are surrounded by destiny. Breathe now. Let your shoulders fall. You have been holding tension that no longer belongs to you. You have been carrying fear that is no longer assigned to you. Release it, gently. Heaven is not in a hurry, but heaven is never late. What was meant to disturb you has already been disarmed. What was meant to shake you has already been redirected. Your home is watched. Your path is watched. Your sleep will be watched. Your waking will be watched. Your coming in is guarded. Your going out is sealed. You will not be taken off course. You will not be taken too soon. Your time is marked by God, not by fear. Even now, the atmosphere around you is shifting. Even now, the heaviness in the room is breaking. Even now, peace is being released like a soft rain on your nervous system. You do not have to fight tonight. You only have to rest. You do not have to be on edge. You only have to be aware. You do not have to understand everything. You only have to trust the one who does. And listen closely now, because this next part is only for you. There is a blessing already leaving heaven with your name on it. It was delayed for protection, not denial. What you thought was a setback was a shield. What you thought was silence was strategy. What you thought was absence was actually distance for your safety. The call did not mean you were vulnerable. It meant you were valuable. Hell does not investigate empty houses. It only peers toward homes carrying light. And your house carries light, even when you feel exhausted, especially when you feel exhausted, because the light you carry is not from your strength. It is from your calling, and your calling has not expired. It has only been tested. You are closer than you think. You are nearer than you feel. What you asked God for in secret is beginning to form in the unseen, and when it appears, it will arrive with confirmation, not confusion. The peace will match the blessing. The joy will match the timing. You will not have to force it. You will not have to chase it. It will come seeking you. As surely as this message found you. You were not meant to stumble into this moment. You were led. You were not meant to hear this by accident. You were summoned. And now heaven is asking you only one thing. Do not let fear sit on a throne that belongs to faith. Do not let one strange moment rewrite the story of your protection. This was not the start of danger. This was the proof of covering. The angels did not panic. The angels took position, and they are still there, standing watch, at your door, at your window, at your bed. You may not feel them, but your spirit is resting because of them. Tonight will not end in fear. Tonight will end in safety. Tonight will not end in worry. Tonight will end in reassurance. And when you close your eyes, you will not be alone in the dark. Light will be standing guard. Your breathing will slow. Your heart will soften. Your thoughts will stop racing. Your soul will feel held. Because heaven is very close right now. And this is only the beginning. There is a moment coming that will answer questions you stopped asking out of tiredness. There is a moment coming that will heal wounds you learned to live with. It will not arrive with chaos. It will arrive with clarity. It will not rush you. It will recognize you. You will feel it before you see it. You will sense it before anyone else notices. A quiet knowing will rise inside you. A still assurance will settle in your chest. You will not have to convince yourself this time. Your spirit will agree instantly. The same heaven that warned you is preparing to reward you. The same God who guarded you is about to guide you forward. You were never being delayed for punishment. You were being slowed for precision. Some doors had to close gently. Some paths had to fade quietly. Because what is ahead of you requires a clearer heart, a steadier mind. You could not enter the next season exhausted by the last one. So heaven used moments to wake you. Even unsettling ones, even confusing ones, not to harm you, but to align you. You are not behind. You are right on time. You are not late to your purpose. You arrived exactly when heaven intended. Every tear you cried watered something you could not yet see. Every night you endured strengthened something you could not yet feel. And now that strength is rising, quietly, confidently. You may not feel powerful, but power does not always roar. Sometimes it breathes slowly. Sometimes it waits patiently. Sometimes it looks like survival before it looks like victory. Do not measure your life by what scared you. Measure it by what failed to stop you. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still becoming. The call could not take you. The fear could not break you. Because what is on you cannot be removed by a moment. It was written before you were born. Your destiny is older than your fear. Your calling is louder than the noise that tried to shake you. You are not fragile in the way you think. You are fragile in the way light is fragile to darkness. Darkness never breaks light. It only retreats from it. And you carry light, even on days you feel dim. Especially on days you feel dim. Heaven is not worried about you. Heaven is working around you. Heaven is arranging timing. Heaven is moving people. Heaven is softening hearts. Heaven is removing obstacles you haven't even reached yet. You are being protected from paths you almost took. You are being preserved for moments you have not yet imagined. There are conversations ahead that will change your direction. There are opportunities ahead that will shift your story. Do not fear the unknown. Heaven already knows it. Do not fear tomorrow. God is already there. The one who guarded your door tonight will guard your future too. You are not walking alone into what comes next. You are being escorted, even when it feels quiet, even when it feels ordinary, especially when it feels ordinary. Miracles often enter through normal doors, and your door is open right now, not to danger, but to destiny. Tonight was not about fear. It was about awareness. Tomorrow will not be about survival. It will be about movement. Slow at first, then steady, then undeniable. You will not argue with the change when it comes. You will simply step into it, the way a weary traveler steps into rest, the way a thirsty soul steps into water. You will not question if it is from God. Peace will be the confirmation. And when others ask how you stayed standing, you will not have a complicated answer. You will simply say, I was covered. You will simply say, I was guided. You will simply say, I was never alone. Because you were never alone. Not in the fear, not in the waiting, not in the confusion, and not in what is coming next. Right now, as you listen, your name is still being spoken in heaven. Your situation is still being handled in unseen places. What troubled you has already been addressed. What concerned you has already been accounted for. You can rest now. You can breathe now. You do not need to stay in survival mode. You are allowed to feel safe again. You are allowed to hope again. Lift your eyes from the moment. Something beautiful is forming in the distance. It is closer than it appears. And very soon, you will understand why you had to be protected tonight. You will understand why your spirit was stirred. You will understand why heaven whispered so urgently. Until then, stay soft. Stay aware. Stay trusting. You do not need to chase what belongs to you. What belongs to you will find you, just as this message did. And when you are ready, there is another word waiting for you, another whisper, another confirmation, another layer of your story. Do not walk this path alone. Stay close, and listen again when the next divine message calls your name. You are safe. You are seen. You are deeply loved before you leave this moment. Let one truth settle into you. You were not spared by chance. You were spared by design. Long before that phone ever rang. Long before your heart ever tightened. A plan was already written for your protection. A command was already spoken over your life. You were guarded before you were afraid. You were covered before you were aware. This is how deeply you are known. This is how carefully you are kept. You are not living under random shadows. You are living under intentional light. Even the things that startled you were permitted only to awaken you, never to consume you. The enemy can knock, but he cannot enter without heaven allowing it. And heaven did not allow it. Your door remains sealed by authority you cannot see, but can trust. The air around you has already been cleansed. The fear you felt has already been lifted. If your chest feels lighter right now, if your breathing feels slower, that is not imagination. That is peace entering its place. The atmosphere is changing because the message has been received. Your spirit heard what your mind could not explain. You are safer now than you were before this message began. Not because the world changed, but because your awareness did. Light has a way of making shadows retreat without noise, and the shadows around you are retreating now. You will notice it in your sleep. You will notice it in your thoughts. You will notice it in the way fear no longer grips you the same way. It will try to return, but it will not stay. Because once truth enters a room, fear cannot live there comfortably anymore. And truth has just filled this space. You may not understand everything that happened today, but you will not carry it into tomorrow the same way. Tomorrow will feel different, lighter, calmer, not because nothing will ever challenge you again, but because you now know who stands with you when it does. You are not facing life alone anymore. even in the moments you thought you already were. Heaven has been closer than you realized for a very long time, especially in the seasons where you felt forgotten, especially in the nights where you felt unseen. Those were not empty moments. They were guarded moments, times when you were being preserved without knowing it. You were kept through things that should have broken you. You were sustained through pressures that should have crushed you. And the reason is simple. There's still more for you to do. There's still more for you to become. There's still light that only you can carry into certain rooms. And heaven will not lose what it has invested in. You are not an afterthought. You are not expendable. You are necessary. That is why you are protected. That is why you are warned. That is why you are being prepared. The future ahead of you is not small. It is not shallow. It is not fragile. It is weighty. It is purposeful. It is anchored in divine intention. What comes next will not look like what you just survived. What comes next will carry peace where there was tension, clarity where there was confusion, joy where there was endurance. And when it begins to unfold, you will not need convincing. Your heart will recognize it instantly. Until that day arrives, you are not waiting alone. Angels stand where you cannot see. Heaven is active where you feel stillness. God is working in ways that will one day make perfect sense to you. For now, rest. Let your body unclench. Let your soul exhale. You do not have to stay alert in panic. You only need to stay aware in peace. Nothing that tried to unsettle you tonight has permission to follow you into your rest. Your sleep will be gentle. Your thoughts will quiet. Your dreams will be watched by heaven. And when you wake, you will carry a peace you did not go to bed with. That will be your reminder. You were not alone. You were never alone. And you will not be alone in the days ahead. This message was not sent to frighten you. It was sent to anchor you, so that the next time uncertainty tries to whisper, you will remember whose voice is louder. Stay close to the light that found you tonight. There's more to come. Another moment, another word, another confirmation. And when it arrives, your spirit will know it just as surely as it knew to listen now. Until then, rest under covering, walk under peace, live under purpose, and return when the next whisper calls your name. Heaven is still watching, and heaven is not finished with you yet. There's a quiet strength returning to you right now. There's a softness healing inside your chest. You may not feel it as fire. You may feel it as warmth. You may not feel it as certainty. You may feel it as calm. But do not confuse calm with smallness. Calm is the sound of heaven settling something for good. What once threatened to spiral your thoughts no longer holds the same weight. Fear is losing its grip. Peace is taking its place. You are being rewired in this moment. Not by effort, but by presence. The Spirit is doing what striving never could. Your nervous system is learning safety again. Your heart is remembering how to trust again. Your mind is relearning how to rest. These are not small miracles. These are the foundations of every great breakthrough. Because nothing new can stand on a soul that still feels hunted. And heaven does not build on unstable ground. So first, it stabilizes you. First, it reminds you who guards you. First, it lets you feel safe enough to breathe. Only then does it release what you have been waiting for. You have thought that rest would come after the miracle, but heaven gave you rest before it, because you will need a steady heart to hold what is coming. What is coming will be beautiful, but it will also be heavy with responsibility, not in burden, but in meaning. Not in pressure, but in purpose. The season ahead of you will require clarity. It will require courage. It will require presence. And you are being strengthened quietly for all of it right now. The call tried to awaken fear. Heaven used it to awaken authority. You were reminded tonight that you are not as vulnerable as you once believed. You were reminded that you are watched. You were reminded that you are surrounded. You were reminded that you matter. This awareness will stay with you, not as anxiety, but as discernment, not as tension, but as wisdom. You will move differently now. You will pray differently now. You will listen differently now, because you have seen what you were once blind to. And sight always changes the way a person walks. You will no longer dismiss the quiet nudges. You will no longer ignore the subtle checks in your spirit. You will no longer doubt when your heart says, "Pay attention." This is not fear training. This is discernment activation. You are being tuned. You are being refined. You are being positioned. And all of this began with a single moment you almost wrote off as nothing. Heaven often hides turning points in ordinary interruptions. A call, a pause, a feeling you could not explain, and then a message. Now you know. You were not interrupted. You were invited. Invited into deeper awareness. Invited into stronger trust. Invited into greater protection. And what you accept tonight will echo in the days ahead. The more you lean into peace, the more peace will surround you. The more you choose faith, the more fear will lose its footing. You do not have to wrestle fear anymore. You simply outgrow it, and you are outgrowing it now. Little by little, breath by breath, moment by moment. The person you were at the beginning of this message is not the same person listening now. Something has settled. Something has strengthened. Something has shifted. You may not have the words for it, but your soul does. Your soul knows it has been tended tonight. Your soul knows it has been covered again. Your soul knows it will not walk alone. And this knowing will stay with you. In the quiet moments, in the busy moments, in the moments when doubt tries to return, you will remember this stillness. You will remember this warmth. You will remember this safety. And you will know exactly where it came from. There are things shifting in you that will not fully reveal themselves tonight. Some changes are too sacred to rush into words. They unfold quietly, like dawn before sunrise. You may wake tomorrow and feel the same on the outside, but inside, something will be steadier. The shaking has passed. The anchoring has begun. You were never meant to live with your shoulders raised in defense. You were meant to live with your hands open in trust. And tonight, your hands are learning how to open again. You do not have to scan every shadow anymore. Light is already ahead of you. You do not have to brace for the worst anymore. Heaven has already gone before you. Even the things that once startled you will soon lose their power over you. Because fear only rules where truth is absent. And truth has now spoken directly to you. The truth is simple. You are guarded. You are guided. You are loved beyond what you can currently measure. Not loved because you are strong. Loved because you are His. Not protected because you earned it. Protected because you were chosen. The world may never know how many moments you were spared. Heaven counts every one. There were nights you should have lost hope, but you were carried instead. There were seasons you should have broken down completely, but you were preserved instead. That was not resilience alone. That was intervention. You thought you were barely surviving. You were actually being sustained. You thought you were hanging on by a thread. You were being held by a hand. And that hand has never let go of you. Even when you doubted. Even when you wandered. Even when you fell silent. The grip never loosened. The watch never ended. Your life is not fragile in the way you think. It is guarded in layers. Seen and unseen. Known and unknown. This is why the enemy only observes from a distance. This is why intimidation comes as questions and not as power. Because authority does not need to ask if you are alone. Authority already knows who stands with you. And who stands with you is greater than whatever stands against you. You will walk differently after this night. Not louder, but steadier. Not harder, but wiser. You will sense when to move. You will sense when to wait. You will sense when to speak. You will sense when to be still. This is discernment growing. This is protection becoming personal. You are not being turned into someone fearful. You are being shaped into someone aware. And awareness is the language of the watchful, the guarded, the chosen. There are people in your future who will be saved by your awareness. There are moments ahead where your attention will shift outcomes. You will not even realize at first how important your presence will be. But heaven already knows. That is why you are being trained through ordinary moments. A call, a pause, a stirring, a message, not dramatic to the world, but decisive in the unseen. You were placed in alignment tonight. You were nudged back into center. You were reminded who you are connected to. And connection is everything. Because when you are connected, you are never truly vulnerable. You may still face uncertainty, but you will not face it unguarded. You may still walk through shadows, but you will not walk without light. You may still feel moments of doubt, but you will not remain there. You always come back to truth, just as you have tonight. And this return will become your pattern. Fear will knock. Peace will answer. Confusion will whisper. Faith will respond. This is the rhythm you are stepping into. It will not abandon you. It will carry you. And one day soon, you will realize that the person you once were afraid of becoming no longer exists. You will look back and see how quietly your courage grew, how gently your strength formed, how faithfully your protection followed you. And you will know, this night mattered. This message mattered. This turning mattered. You were not just comforted. You were positioned. You were not just reassured. You were aligned. You were not just listened to. You were answered. And heaven does not answer without intention. In the quiet place. In the hidden place. In the place where strength grows without noise. You thought nothing was happening. You thought you were standing still. But roots were spreading where you could not see them. And now the ground beneath you is stronger than it has ever been. This is why what tried to frighten you could not truly touch you. You are no longer standing on fragile faith. You are standing on formed faith. You survived storms that were designed to wash you away. You endured seasons meant to empty you. But you remain full of what matters. Full of light. Full of breath. Full of calling. The enemy sensed that fullness. That is why he asked the question. Darkness always asks when it cannot command. Light never needs permission. And light reigns in your house. Not because of who lives in it, but because of who watches over it. You are not guarded by walls alone. You are guarded by promises. Promises spoken long before tonight. Promises still active right now. You may not remember when they were spoken, but heaven remembers every word. And heaven keeps its word. Not one promise has expired over you. Not one prayer has gone cold. Not one tear has been wasted. They are all accounted for. They are all working together in ways you cannot fully see yet. There's a convergence approaching your life. Timings aligning. Paths crossing. Doors opening where walls once stood. And when that alignment begins to show itself in the natural, you will realize this moment was part of it. The stirring before the shift. The whisper before the movement. The alert before the breakthrough. You will say, that was the night I learned how protected I truly was. You will say, that was the moment fear lost its authority over me. You will say, that was when my spirit woke up. And this awakening will not fade. It will deepen. It will sharpen. It will steady you. You will not become paranoid. You will become perceptive. You will not become anxious. You will become anchored. You will not become withdrawn. You will become discerning. And discernment is a gift that saves lives. Sometimes your own. Sometimes someone else's. You will notice things others overlook. You will pause when others rush. You will listen when others dismiss. And heaven will work through that awareness in quiet, powerful ways. You are being entrusted with sight, spiritual sight, emotional sight, timing sight. This is not random. This is not accidental. This is not just personality. This is calling. And calling always comes with covering. You are not being exposed. You are being equipped. And everything that tried to scare you was turned into training. The enemy meant that question for harm. Heaven transformed it into activation. You are no longer just someone who survives. You are someone who understands. And when you understand, fear loses its strongest weapon, the unknown. Because now you know this. You are not alone in dark moments. You are not unguarded in quiet moments. You are not abandoned in uncertain moments. Heaven is present in all of them. And presence changes everything. You will carry this knowing into tomorrow, into your choices, into your conversations, into your rest. And slowly, without force, your life will begin to reflect the peace you felt tonight. You will respond instead of react. You will wait instead of panic. You will trust instead of assume. This is the fruit of awareness. This is the calm after alignment. You were never meant to live with your heart in alarm. You were meant to live with your heart in assurance. And assurance is settling into you now. Like oil, calming the surface of restless waters. Like dawn pushing back the last shadows of night. The darkness did not win tonight. It only revealed how guarded you are. And now that you have seen this truth once, you will never fully forget it. It will return to you when doubt tries to speak. It will rise in you when fear tries to re-enter. It will steady you when uncertainty tries to sway you. Because truth, once received, roots itself deep. And your roots are growing now. Stronger, quieter, unshakable.